If 2020 hindsight is really reliable, why didn't I ever think to use it? Hindsight may not have told me in which direction to head, but it might have helped me see the truth. I always believed each of my marriage failures was the other party's fault, not mine. I even thought my occasional extramarital affair was justified, due to the shabby treatment I was receiving from whatever spouse I was married to at the time. I always chalked up my first and second divorces to my inability to select the right partner. Then, after 2 more unsuccessful attempts at marriage, I decided that my picker must be broken. Now, gentlemen, don't get the wrong idea here. Notice that I said picker. But it still didn't occur to me to sit down and do the hard work of figuring out why I was choosing so badly. Even my intellectual, highly critical, and notoriously cynical 84-year-old father, God rest his soul, contributed to my lack of reflection about my marriages. After having been widowed twice, once as a young man and then again in middle age, he stumbled through, unsuccessfully I might add, a short-lived third marriage in his later years. He actually dated a lot in his golden years, so I guess he was an experienced serial monogamist himself. On his refrigerator door, Dad had posted, "Any fool can start a love affair, but it takes a real genius to end one successfully." I believed that dear old Dad had aimed this tacky quote specifically at me, although I substituted the word marriage for love affair. Thanks for the jab, Dad. But, being an eternally positive person, I actually decided to interpret that silly little saying to mean that I was a tremendous success. After all, wasn't I always the leaver in my marriages and never the leave-e? And hadn't I been voted most likely to succeed way back in junior high school? Well, I was definitely living up to that accolade, at least in one aspect. I was very successful in ending my marriages. I even showed few, if any, visible scars from the disastrous link-ups, not limited to, but including, my bank accounts. That reminds me of one of Dad's sayings that he occasionally told his 4 daughters, to emphasize that he had limits to tolerating their poor choices in mates. My brother was spared. At least I'll never need to pass Dad's comment down to my kids, since I don't have any. "I'll pay for first marriages and first divorces, but after that, you're on your own." And he lived up to his word. I took him up on his offer, and he plunked down $2,500 for my first divorce in 1978. Thanks again, Dad. You know, each time I escaped from a marriage, I was back in the office the very next day, just as if nothing had happened. I even knew how to put on a fake smile to go with my polyester suits and costume jewelry. Needless to say, I was so proud of myself for having never seen a counselor, except for the time an abusive ex dragged me into a joint session and I acquiesced to make the letdown less impactful for him. Never had to resort to drugs either, not even for sleeping.